In a world painted with the gentle hues of twilight, a peaceful meadow lay cradled between whispering woods and a silver stream. Here, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the night wasn't dark, but alive with a million tiny, twinkling stars that danced close to the earth. These were the fireflies, and their glow made the meadow a magical kingdom. But for one small resident, the magic had faded. Her name was Fia, a little bird with feathers the color of a dawn sky. She had once loved the wind beneath her wings, the thrill of soaring high above the fields, chasing the last rays of sunlight. But an accident, a cruel twist of fate, had left one of her wings broken and frail. Now she could no longer fly. The sky, once her playground, had become a painful reminder of what she had lost. As the other birds took to the evening air, their happy chirps echoing through the meadow, Fia would hide. She'd nestle deep within the tall, swaying grass, making herself small and invisible. A heavy cloak of sadness wrapped around her heart. She felt useless, a creature of the sky now bound to the earth. The world, she thought, had forgotten her. Each night, she watched the fireflies flicker and thought how different their light was from the darkness she felt inside. One evening, as Fia was lost in her sorrow, a tiny light bobbed closer than usual. It hovered right before her beak, pulsating with a gentle, curious rhythm. This was no ordinary firefly, this was Glow. Unlike the others who danced in grand swarms, Glow was a wanderer, an explorer of small, forgotten corners. He had noticed the little bird who never joined the Twilight Symphony. "Why do you hide?" Glow's light flickered, a silent question in the dimming light. Fia, startled, shuffled back. She hadn't spoken to anyone in weeks. "I can't fly," she chirped, her voice barely a whisper. "My wing is broken." "I'm no good to anyone." Glow drifted a little closer, his light soft and warm. "Flying isn't just for the sky," he pulsed. "Sometimes the most important journeys happen on the ground. And a little light can help guide even the weakest wings." Fia looked at the tiny, determined firefly. For the first time in a long time, a flicker of something other than sadness stirred within her. Hope, perhaps. Glow proposed an adventure. He spoke of a legendary whispering willow on the other side of the great forest, a tree said to have healing magic in its leaves. The journey would be long and perilous for a flightless bird, but Glow's belief was infectious. He promised to be her light, her guide through the darkness. With a hesitant nod, Fia agreed. She had nothing left to lose and, maybe, a new purpose to find. Their journey began the very next morning. Fia, accustomed to seeing the world from above, now experienced it up close. She learned the texture of the soil under her feet, the scent of damp earth after a morning dew, and the intricate patterns on a snail's shell. Glow rode on her shoulder, his light a beacon of companionship. Their first challenge came quickly. They reached a wide, rushing stream, far too broad for Fia to hop across. Despair began to creep back in. "I can't do it," she sighed. Just then, a family of field mice scurried by, their path blocked by the same stream. They were trying to move their winter stores of seeds, but the water was too swift. Seeing their struggle, Fia had an idea. She remembered seeing a long, sturdy fallen branch further upstream. With Glow lighting the way, she guided the mice to the branch. Together, they pushed and nudged it until it formed a makeshift bridge across the water. The grateful mice helped carry Fia's small bundle of berries across, and they all crossed to the other side safely. As Fia watched them go, a strange, warm feeling spread through her chest. She hadn't flown, but she had helped. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller, casting long, spooky shadows. One night, a thick fog rolled in, so dense that Fia couldn't see her own feet. She was terrified, her heart pounding against her ribs, but Glow shone brighter than ever. He became her personal lantern, his light cutting through the mist. His unwavering presence gave her courage. It was during this foggy trek that they heard a faint cry. Following the sound, they found a young badger cub, lost and separated from his family. The cub was shivering, not just from cold, but from fear. Fia, remembering her own feelings of being lost and alone, began to speak to him in a soft, soothing voice. She told him stories of the brave little firefly and their adventure. Glow, perched on a branch above, pulsed his light in a calming rhythm. Fee's gentle words and Glow's steady light comforted the cub until the fog began to lift. Soon, the cub's mother, who had been frantically searching, found them. She thanked Fia profusely, nuzzling her gently before leading her child away. Fia realized her voice, once used for singing in the sky, could now bring comfort in the darkness. The journey wasn't always about helping others, it was also about survival. A sudden, violent storm trapped them in the hollow of a log. Rain lashed down and thunder cracked like the sky was breaking apart. Fia shielded Glow with her good wing, protecting his precious light from the wind and rain. In that moment, she wasn't the broken, useless bird anymore, she was a protector. They huddled together, two small beings against the fury of the storm, and found strength in each other. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of walking, climbing, and helping, they saw it, the whispering willow. It was magnificent, its long, silvery leaves shimmering in the sunlight and rustling with a sound like gentle music. Fia limped towards it, her heart a mix of hope and exhaustion. She touched a leaf to her injured wing, closing her eyes and waiting for the magic. She waited and waited, nothing happened. Her wing was still broken, still useless for flight, tears welled in Fia's eyes. The entire journey, the hope that had carried her, it was all for nothing. She sank to the ground, the weight of her disappointment crushing her. But Glow landed softly on her head, his light a gentle caress. "Look behind you, Fia," he pulsed. Fia turned. Behind her, stretching back as far as she could see, was a trail of light. It was a procession of tiny fireflies, but they weren't alone. Walking with them were the mice, the badger family, and other creatures they had met along the way. They had followed, drawn by the stories of the kind little bird and her firefly companion. They hadn't come for the magic tree, they had come for her. They told her how her bravery had inspired them. The mice had built more bridges. The badger cub was now the bravest in his family. A lonely squirrel she'd shared her nuts with had made new friends. Her journey, her struggle, had created ripples of courage and kindness throughout the forest. Standing there, surrounded by her new friends, Fia understood. The magic wasn't in the willow tree, it had been inside her all along. Her purpose wasn't to soar in the sky by herself, but to guide others on the ground. Her broken wing wasn't a symbol of her weakness, but a testament to her resilience. Fia never soared through the clouds again. She didn't need to. With Glow on her shoulder, she became a leader, a guide, a beacon of hope in the meadow and the forest. She taught others that you don't need wings to fly, you just need purpose. She couldn't light up the sky, but she and Glow lit up the lives of everyone they met. And in the heart of the peaceful meadow, the story of Fia, the flightless bird who taught the world to fly, became a legend whispered on the wind and carried on the light of 1,000 fireflies. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of courage and light. We'll see you in the next video.